And we're going to get started. I think they're on the freeway and they're trying to get here, and we've set back a little bit so that they can get here, but we're going to get started right now. Anywhere, right now, anywhere, in the front. So that's a good place. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I am so excited. This has been a long time since I've actually did my own event. I used to do them all the time, and I stopped because life just got real busy. But now it is my desire to continue to do that. So I am so excited that you are here, and thank you so much. All of you, thank you so much. We're going to have a fantastic day today, and when I say fantastic, it's going to be off the hook. So without further ado, if I could have Farida, which is right there. Farida is, we were going to do an icebreaker first. That's what we were going to do. Okay. So what I'd like is for each person at the room to introduce themselves to the people at their table. And I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do that. Okay. You're not done. You had 3 minutes. I'll give you 30 seconds more. Okay. Thank you, ladies, for that. And the reason why I ask that you do that is that we get an idea of who we're sitting with. Oftentimes, we come in the room and we sit with the people that we know, and we have a great time. But it's so much more to just communicating with the people around you that you do not know, because you never know who's in the room. And you'll hear that 1,000 times a day. You never know who's in the room. So thank you for that. So now what I'm going to ask is, what was your experience? And one person, if you could share with me your experience of doing that exercise. Just stand up and just share with me. Forgot everybody already? Okay.
Well, I'll stand. What I got out of that exercise is we have someone who does design at our table, and I know that I can use that type of support. So yeah, that was good to know.
All right. Okay.
I'm just going to tell you that your mic needs to be louder. I can't hear you back here.
Oh, okay. So I can use this one? I can use this one? I have a bunch of mics on, so I don't know what. All right, that's good. Okay. All right, great.
Basically, whenever anyone uses a mic today and it's about this far away from you, like you're about to take a lick bite off an ice cream cone.
Uh,
Not here and not there, like that.
okay. Now that we got that all covered. Since you spoke up, come on.
You know, we all kind of do know each other, but Anna asked a couple of questions that I thought were very provocative, like if you were going to talk about one of your traits that you want people to know about yourself, what would you say? So that let us know something about each other that we didn't already know. So
That's great.
that's good.
So what did you find out?
I found out that I like to make jokes and she likes to laugh, so we're
Oh. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Do I just stand up? Can I just talk from here?
You can talk from there.
I'll stand up.
Okay.
We didn't get a full chance to go around, but from what I gathered, so I'm a graphic designer, and I like to help startups and people that are
Mhm.
just forming their own ideas. And I work a lot with Alameda County social healthcare systems. So even just hearing a little bit about what these ladies are doing, that just sparked my interests.
Great.
Just a way to talk to people about what they're working on, what they're passionate about.
Great. Great.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
I actually got to meet a couple of great ladies. Okay, so this woman is obviously working the fashionista. She has the statement pieces together. I had to start out because these ladies are so jazzy. She has perfect makeup and, being in the makeup industry, I mean, all over it. This is Snow
Sharon.
Sharon. Ooh. I ain't good with names, y'all. And this is Marsha, who has actually found her passion in the theater, and being able to move forward in that way I know it's gotta be so fulfilling with the passion you speak of it. So it was a great experience meeting these lovely ladies and
Wow.
understanding how fabulous your family is.
Oh, thank you. They are. They really are. And for the rest of you? Oh,
Oh, that's okay, I'm sorry. Well, I met JD and Elsie, Malou. Oh, they are married and obviously very happy.
how long have they been married?
2 weeks.
Oh.
They're very funny. So they've just been making us smile over here. And Sister Martisha, if you ever need a cheesecake, this is the one.
Yes.
Yes, and she has a wonderful, beautiful business with cheesecakes, and, this is the lady here, this is the cheesecake lady.
Okay. Phil? Phil, did you talk to anyone? You didn't? Okay. Phil didn't talk. The reason why I ask that we do that is because, again, you never know who's in the room. You never know who's in the room. Oftentimes we walk in a room and we think that we're the only people that do what we do, but it's amazing what other people do. And it does not take a lot of time to find out what other people do. So we took 3 minutes and found out a lot of information. Actually, this young woman, she was able to remember names. That's really cool. Girl, you still got your brain. That's cool. I like that. I like that. But without further ado, we're going to start our program. And we have a wealth of information. We have a lot of fun for you today, a lot of information that can take you or your business to the next level. And so without further ado, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Jan. And then Farida is going to talk a little bit further.
I want to introduce Jan to everyone. In 2008, Jan's future looked bleak. Widowed at 59 and multiple 6 figures in debt, she went through a lot of trial and error, digging herself out of that financial hole. Today, she is the proud publisher of BoomerChickUniverse.com, a digital magazine that celebrates because 60 is the new 40.
Mm-hmm.
And the best is yet to come. No longer an indentured servant to the IRS and credit card companies, Jan calls herself a reinvention specialist who helps women develop their passions, discover their purpose, and create their heart-centered prosperity by leveraging their power of the internet. She is an unstoppable stand for women to create a kick-ass second 50 to never again fear outliving your money or fear a life of regret. Everybody, I introduce Jan.
Ah.
I think I might be dangerous if I hold it, so let's see. I'm going, since we're videoing this for the first time and we haven't done any dress rehearsals, Gloria, you're wired with the mic, and our plan is to put that small lapel mic on each speaker. Is she just talking for a few minutes now?
She's talking for 20 minutes, so, and I think she'll do fine with this mic.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little bit much.
Okay. Or I can hold it, but can everybody hear me in the back as well? Great, thanks. Gloria, thank you for having me.
Thank
And
you.
what a fabulous community of women, so thank you. Good morning. Today I'm going to talk to you about two trends that are happening right now in our culture that have a huge impact on women. The trend of the age revolution meets the new economy. And this is going to affect each and every one of you. But before I start, I kind of want to get a little sense of who I'm talking to. So for those of you who either are working at a job or you work for yourself, would you raise your hands? Okay, that's the room, got it. Okay, next question. How many of you love what you do? You really love it? Great, really good to hear and see. Second, is this you? They want you. They're coming to get you, Gloria.
It is, because I don't know
Okay,
where they are.
third question is the most important. For what you're presently doing, is it providing you the kind of prosperity that will give you the abundance to go into your 90s and beyond? Raise your hand. Fewer group, okay? So let's listen up, because that's the deal. Right now in 2010, according to the 2010 census, the fastest growing segment of the US population, women living into our 90s and beyond. Men don't seem to make it much past 85. At 85, women are outnumbering men 2-to-1. And at 95, it is a woman's world, because we are outnumbering them almost 9-to-1. Now look, we laugh, but this is such a new reality and a new normal. You know, when I was back in college, which was 40 years ago, to live to 80 was a big deal. I mean, it was a big deal. And now I'm 65, and I am looking at my new normal as living to 95. So it's a whole new horizon. But let me show you how men and women are living this second half quite differently. That 2010 census also says that 47% of women live alone after the age of 75. Men who are 65 and over, 73% of them are married. Obviously not to the 47% living alone, okay? Different worlds here, different worlds, and we have different needs that we've got to be aware of, okay? This is that age revolution. So for those of you who are not quite 50, you gotta be thinking, this is amazing to say, but it's 100 and beyond. That is what you are going to be looking at as your new normal. Kind of gives you pause, doesn't it? You know, really. And let me show you what this new normal looks like. Her name is Harriet Thompson. She's 91 years old, and last June she ran the Rock and Roll San Diego Marathon, 26.2 miles. She ran it in 7 hours and 7 minutes. We're not going to be together today for 7 hours and 7 minutes. Harriet at 91 was on the streets of San Diego running. Now, she felt she might have done a little faster job, but the year before, she had been diagnosed with thyroid cancer and she was having radiation treatment. This is the new normal. This is the new normal. We see her as extraordinary, because she is, but that will be the new normal. She is not an elite athlete that just kind of switched over to marathon running. She was just an ordinary woman that was compelled to raise money for the Lymphoma and Leukemia Society. And in the last 15 years, she has personally raised $90,000.
Wow.
She ran her first race. For those of you who are sitting there and going, I already feel too old, I can't do those things, that's not me. She started to run her very first race when she was 76. So I'm just here because I'm really passionate about this. Don't let anyone tell you that you are too old, especially yourself, okay? Because sometimes we are our own worst enemies. Remember Harriet, okay? I do get passionate about these things. And as Farida said, I am a reinvention specialist. I am that stand for women to discover their money personalities, align that with their passion and purpose, their heart. I mean, we are moved by our hearts. That's how we want to work. But we need to get smart about how we make money, okay? Because we have to live that exciting life that we want to live into our 90s and beyond, and have that expansive feeling rather than dread, kind of going. Because if you, I don't know if you're like me, I see my bank account, at least before I started with my whole way of being, that kind of ended around the late 70s or 80s, you know, I could see it to there, but anybody telling me 90s, and I'm seeing bag lady, you know? It's kind of like, maybe I have a house and all of that, but it's like I don't have anything else that I can really, really do. So, life is wonderful for me now. I love what I get to do, but as Farida said, back in 2008, my life looked bleak. At 59, and that is the average age in this country for a woman to be widowed, 59 and a half. Who knew I would be average on something like that? I faced multiple 6 figures in debt. So not only had I lost my best friend, my business partner, my husband after a 13-month battle with lymphoma. And I mean, this guy was the original Peter Pan. He had so much energy, so charismatic, and I just watched him deteriorate over those 13 months. It was just awful. And I just went, I'm done. I mean, I'm just done. This is not the way I want to live the rest of my life, paying off the IRS. You know? I mean, when I say an indentured servant, I mean, it's just not exciting stuff. I wanted to suck my thumb, curl up in a fetal position, put the covers over my head. That was it. And I had a major pity party for several weeks. Trust me, I really did. And then I knew I needed to come up with a game plan. So, you know, part of what goes on for me is that I'm somebody who's had one of these lives that truth is stranger than fiction. Before the age of 35, I had already fought my own battle with cancer, and my family was personally involved in not one but 2 murder trials. So as far as I was concerned, I had built enough character, thank you very much. You know, but in my 40s, I lived in Maine. I had been in the nonprofit world. I had worked in public broadcasting, I had worked in the arts, and I had worked as a teacher. And I came to California to learn how to make money. You know, it was kind of like one of those immigrant stories, you know. California, they know how to make money. And there I was on the 39th floor of the Transamerica Pyramid Building with the beautiful view. I was there with my husband, and we were executive search consultants, better known as headhunters. And it was the dot-com boom, and we were riding it. We had a $750,000 home. We had $2 million in stock options, and our future looked bright. And then the bust. I mean, it took my breath away. It took my breath away how fast it was. In 2 weeks, we no longer had $2 million in stock options. They were gone. And then in another month, we actually didn't have a business. It just dissolved. It dissolved, it disappeared. We were speechless, but we couldn't afford to be speechless for much longer. It was like, okay, because when you're living that lifestyle, you're living that lifestyle. So we sold our home. We reinvented ourselves. We invested in courses and we became real estate developers so we could take advantage of the real estate boom. We moved to beautiful Lake County where my shopping options were a Walmart and a Kmart. Having come from the Bay Area, that was just a little bit of a culture shock, you know? And it was country radio as 24/7. I mean, it just was a little bit of a culture shock. But in the 4 years that we were there, we had developed 8 high-end modular homes and we had sold them and we were doing okay until my husband noticed 3 lumps on the side of his neck. And then that market went bust. And if you recall in 2008, everything else went bust. So as soon as he was diagnosed, he basically spent the next 13 months between a hospital and the nursing home. I spent the next 3 years living in one room in a friend's house. I worked 20 hours a week as a barista at Starbucks so that I could have health insurance. And then on the weekends, because I worked 7 days a week, on the weekends I worked a high-end commission-only sales job where the person closest to me in age, and I was 59 at the time, was 35. So that's when I learned how to become what I call the mistress of metabolism, because I needed to have extraordinary energy, and I needed that energy to take me through, especially the weekend when I made my big bucks, okay? And later on, I will share with you how you can get those secrets and tips, because they really do work. But what I did in the 20 hours that I didn't work for Starbucks or the weekend when I didn't work for my high end were the most important. I invested in myself and my own learning. I was looking for models that did not depend on a boom because I had already gone through the bus twice, didn't want to do that. I was looking for something that was low cost entry because I didn't have much money. I was looking for something that is scalable, chunkable. You make some money, you can kind of expand it out. You make some more money, you can kind of expand it out. Sustainable, that seemed to work for me. And the first time I made money in my sleep, I knew I had found the model for me.
Yes.
And that is our second trend. It is the new economy, but you all know it as the internet. And the internet is every woman's best friend forever, okay? Now why? One, there's no glass ceiling. There's no ageism. There is no caring about what gender or what color or whether you have a disability or whether you are 14 years old or whether you're 79 and a half and blind and whatever. It doesn't care. It doesn't care that the gatekeeper can't say to you, you're overqualified, you're underqualified, we're looking for purple today, you happen to be blue. It doesn't, there's none of that there. There's no geography. You don't have to live near an urban center. You need to live in a place that has good internet connection. You can live in your small town or you could live any place in the world. And that, my friends, is very attractive in terms of lifestyle. Now what you also have is the sense that you can, like me, if you want to start out, and you do, making a couple of $100 a month that makes that difference between whether you can pay the rent or invest in yourself, to internet models that I would love to share with you, okay? A couple of quick stories here. One, my friend Gail, know her personally, she and her husband are in their 70s, they don't own a home. They live in Panama, Ecuador, the Bahamas, Key West, and they run a virtual publishing business. They have actually helped 6 authors become Amazon bestsellers while they live all over the world and have a fabulous time. They see themselves doing this into their 80s and 90s. They love it. And for any of you who are going, yeah, but what I love to do is really kind of strange, you know, my passion and whatever, listen to Nadia. Nadia is 60 years old. She reads people's palms. She does this virtually. People send her in pictures of their palms, and she tells them what it is that they should do for a living. And Nadia makes over 6 figures doing this, but this is her soul's purpose. And she literally had what I call acid reflux of the soul, which is I think what happens to women after they're 50, 55. You have to do your soul purpose. You can't just work for money anymore, because your soul knows why you came on this earth.
That's
And
right.
if you're not doing it, it kind of starts telling you in different ways. And she had been in the financial services industry doing very well doing that. She didn't want to be, she saw herself as, what am I, a gypsy palm reader on the beach, you know? No, okay? Kate Stillman is not yet a boomer chick, but she lives a lifestyle where she skis in the winter in Idaho. She surfs in the summer with her family in Mexico. They own 2 homes. She teaches Ayurvedic practices to yoga teachers all over the world, and this year she is on track to make $500,000. My friend Andrea will make $1.3 million this year working with essential oils. That is the power of the internet and this kind of marketing. Whether it's a couple of $100 or some of you have big dreams and big ideas, okay? That's why I get excited about this, ladies. So, I'm here. As Farida said, I'm the proud publisher of Boomer Chick Universe. It's a digital magazine. It's on Apple Newsstand with the New York Times and Cosmopolitan, you know? I get to play with thought leaders, women that are making a difference, the Nadias, the Gails. I get to play with them in this universe and share them with you. I'm an aggregator of resources, and I love to do that with women. I'm also a coach because I take these sacred money archetypes that I've been trained to do. That's your money personality. You know, many of us will say, oh, wow, she is so successful. I want to do what she's doing. And then you do. And you feel like that salmon swimming upstream where you work so hard, but you're not getting those results because you're not in alignment with your money personality. And we all have them, and they all have their gifts, and they all have their power leaks. So you need to know those, be in alignment with those, with your passion, with your purpose, and then we help you find the right models so you're truly creating prosperity for yourself. And that's again, lots and lots of resources for you. In closing, I'd like to share the brilliant words of Langston Hughes, because I feel like he says it best. Hold fast to your dreams. If dreams die, life is like a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Ladies, I am here to be your stand for all of you to absolutely fly into your 90s and beyond and live your dreams. Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh. Really awesome. Wow, isn't that exciting? See, it's a lot of information that we don't know and we don't really even think about. I never thought about until I talked to Jan and she started to talk about women and we're living much longer than our money. And then I got real nervous because that meant that I couldn't go buy shoes that day. So I have really been cutting back because I don't want to get to 90 and not be able to buy a pair of shoes. But I know I'll still be able to wear them. She's getting close to the big number. What's the big number? She's not that big. She's not quite to the big number like that. But you know, when women start getting nervous about how old they are. Well, 60. And she couldn't get it out of her mouth. She literally was like, and you know what? I could really relate to her, because when I hit one of my big numbers, I couldn't get it out of my mouth either. And as she was standing there, she even had said, I'm having a great party. I'm having a lot of people over. It's going to be an amazing event. I'm going to be, and she kind of got 6 out. And so I said, oh, I said, you're 6 months younger than I am. Now that was a lot for me, because I had not embraced that. So to think about 90 makes me feel pretty good right now at 61. It makes me feel really good at 61.
You and I going to race a marathon?
I don't know about a marathon, but I'll drive beside you. I'll hold your water. But Jan, thank you so much. A lot of wisdom, a lot of insight. We've spent a lot of time together, and I just absolutely love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.